Welcome to episode 14 of the Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lauren.
Kaylia.
Stephanie.
And we are talking about setting goals in bodybuilding and just even setting goals along your fitness journey in general today. But before that, it's been a minute. We missed last week, so thanks for waiting for this episode. We've had a lot going on lately. So our prep updates are now kind of transitioning into life bodybuilder updates. We'll come up with a good name for that. But
It should be our name. Let us know.
yeah, what do we call this?
Some of us transition into like off season, stay in prep, get deeper into prep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have quite a bit of updates for, I think, kind of each of us.
She just
Yeah. So big one first. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
You're wearing the shirt.
Oh yeah,
You prepped today.
True. So I just came back from, it was a week ago. Oh my gosh, it was a week ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It just felt like we were like kind of a whirlwind. But I just came back from Optimum Pro in Louisiana, and I placed 4th at that show, and it was really exciting just being compared next to the best of the best and Olympians that including Ashley Kay, who won the show, so she was amazing. I think it was her 46th win at that one, and then 47th.
She's on
this
her
past
46
weekend
today, this weekend.
46 this weekend at Nevada.
47. What? Yeah.
It was 45 at Optimum.
Yeah.
46 this. Okay. Yeah. So she's almost there, but no, it was amazing just to even
cool.
witness and, like I said, just be compared against the best. And so it was a really, really well-rounded show. I think the biggest thing is that I was very cold. For part of it backstage, and just because the AC is going because it's humid in Louisiana, and so everyone wants this AC on, and it was just crazy. I was dying, but we also had some travel fun. Cody and I, It was fun at the beginning. It was an adventure. So we missed our initial flight, then had to be rebooked, and then that flight, the connection was slow because of the storms in the east, and then so we ended up getting back a day late, a day and a half, maybe something like that.
It was like, a day, full day.
So that was a lot of fun. But now prep wise, my feedback from that show was to just work on my stage presence and energy to the stage, because I think as a newer pro, I would have just won my pro card actually just under a year ago, being compared next to Olympians that have, obviously competed at a ton more pro shows than I have. I think that my energy kind of just didn't match on that level, and so that's something I'm going to be working on. But physique wise, conditioning wise, I didn't have anything to change, so now it is making me just decide on whether or not we want to keep competing into the later summer, or take a little bit of a break and come back maybe in the fall. So that is kind of up in the air. But I was very, very happy.
I just want to say, I tried giving Ashley Kay a crumble cookie and she didn't take it.
Really? You did?
It was like a quarter. I was like, hey, Ashley, you want a cookie? She was like, no, thank you. I was like, okay.
Like, you are good at this.
She's got her thing going.
This is why you have 46 wins.
Yeah,
No, I'm
exactly.
just kidding.
No, exactly. That's funny.
And you're being modest too. You were the only non-Olympian in
Yeah.
the first
Yes.
call out.
That's right.
So she's
That is a big deal.
Yes, I was
and
really
that
excited.
4th place, top 4 again.
Yes.
Less than a year pro, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Less than a year
Yeah,
pro,
June
hanging with
30th.
the big dogs. The Olympians.
It was good. If you told me last year, I'd been like, oh no
Yeah.
way. So yes, no,
Turn
it's
pro, and
very
then 2
exciting.
top 4, 2 fourth. Yeah, top placings.
Yeah, top
Ashley Kay
placings.
was in both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to put
like-
that picture up. I'll send that
Yeah.
picture so you can put it up. But I took
That's
pictures
so
with her at
cool.
both shows. So it was cool. It was really
That's so
cool.
exciting.
So cool. Congratulations
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Like,
Thank
it's
you.
so cool.
But no, we'll see. It's kind of up in the air, but we'll see. I'm
So
excited.
are you just slowly like reversing right now just until you decide, or taking some time to just think?
So this week, what I was in my routine on weekdays and stuff, I was still pretty on top of it. And my parents came to visit this last weekend, and so I took a little bit of a break, both cardio wise and eating, I was pretty good in terms of staying on my meals when we were at home. So like they went to Topgolf, I ate at home, that sort of thing. But if they wanted to go out for dinner, that kind of thing, I tried to pick things that were a little bit more macro friendly, but with my French fries
On the side. Go with
Right
the
on the
French
side. So
Some
no, it
veggie
was
and
just,
some French fry.
exactly. So it was good to just have a break. And I really, when I was telling Zach, I was like, because I've had issues reversing in the past, and it was something that I really wanted to stay on top of. But this time, instead of, trying to like eat everything I wanted to eat before getting back into prep, I was like, I actually ate out as like more of an experience with people that was more of like memories, as opposed to me being like, well, let's go to this store because I really want to get this exact specific thing kind of thing. So I just really was conscious of the fact that this was more than just food. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, okay, I'm hanging out with my dad who hasn't been here to visit me. And so it was cool to kind of just share in that. And I think we only had, out of the 3 days, I had 2 meals with them out, which I thought was
That's
not
awesome.
too bad. So yeah.
Yay.
That's
Back
really
on
cool.
it for Monday, but you definitely feel a little bit more like watery and a little bit more, I don't know, full, like in my cheeks and things like that. And so I'm excited to kind of get back into routine tomorrow. So yeah, and then it'll be easier to pick whether or not July is a yes or we want to kind of take a little bit of a break.
Push. Yeah. So how many weeks do you know a show in July? What it would be?
Yeah, so he was thinking maybe the Vancouver Pro, which is mid-July.
So it'd be like 6 weeks out or so.
Yeah, so I'd be about 6 weeks out.
That'd be a
but
cool show.
yeah, and I'm just kind of going back and forth. I can't remember what the other one he was thinking of, but I left it up to him. I'm like, I will just start prep on Monday, and you just let me know.
We'll just go from there.
Right, exactly. But what about you guys?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's see. I am still just prepping away, chipping away, mostly still a pound a week. This last check-in was the first one that was a little less than a pound, but it's the first time we've made a change to my plan. So I went and looked at my calendar, and I was actually, I think it was 8 weeks of the exact same thing in a row, pound a week. No changes to my plan, same cardio, same food, everything. So if your coach isn't changing things, that's okay. It's still working.
There's still progress.
Like 8 weeks is a long time with no refeeds, no changes. But we did make changes, and cardio went up and food went down. And we are digging deep because it's a pretty, I guess, extreme.
Yeah, stepping on the gas.
Yeah, and he did let me know that we will start implementing more of like a refeed strategy, which would be like more like a high carb day, as we get closer and as I get leaner. And I've had people who like I see at the gym or I saw at the show this weekend. We went to the Idaho Muscle Classic yesterday, and people see me and they now like can see that I'm in prep, like when I'm wearing like a tank top and like my face is a little tighter. So it's like it's slowly getting there. So it's changes are happening. So we're just gonna keep chipping away. And I've had a lot more people ask me about like, oh, what show are you doing, since they can notice that I'm in prep more. And I'm just gonna say it over and over again. Coach is gonna pick, or coach is gonna tell me when we're ready. And so I kind of have to. I feel like I explained that so many times this weekend to people, because like they're trying to be nice and they're like, "Oh, you're in prep? What show?"
It's just a question to ask. It's like
it's really normal to ask.
Yeah.
Because then it's and it's like not that they really care which show. They're just kind of like
gauging,
having conversation. And then
and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not doing that. I don't know." And they're like, "You don't know?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it's just different on different levels, right? Because when you're an amateur, I usually pick the show and then prep to it. I never started prep without a show in mind when I was like earlier on. Yeah,
which I'm loving the process of that.
I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot more.
I don't feel like there's any pressure of feeling behind if like my weight drop is slower or anything like that.
Because you're more all in all year, right? As an amateur, you're like, oh, let's try this.
It's seasonal. It's much more Yeah,
and I had someone like make a comment and they're like, oh, I don't think I could be in prep for 30 weeks if it went that long. And I was like, I mean, I'm only 16 weeks in. This is week 16. But they're like, I don't think I could do it. Like, what if it just took forever and it was like 30 weeks? And I was like, well, that'd be fine. Like, I don't know. I live this year round and I have big competition goals. Like, and my coach and I are going to be working until we step on stage, and then maybe another stage, and maybe another one, maybe not. Maybe we'll reverse, but I want my best reverse ever, which is like being in prep. You know, that's what we're going to try to do to make it optimum so that we can just start prep again. I think I'm at a point where I'm not going to take a long off season right now, unless for some reason that's my feedback when I do step on stage. We'll see. But I think I feel like very committed that this is like not prepping for a show. This is prepping for
life
shows.
Shows.
The future, my big goals.
Future low.
Yeah.
Olympia Low, Olympia qualified low. Let me just say it.
Whenever it happens and however long it takes, however many shows it takes, if there needs to be time in between the shows to make improvements to get those goals, that's what we'll do. But I feel very all in and very good about that. And so like, it's just going to be like, even like someone was like, they were selling cookies at a booth at the show and they're like, you could put them in the freezer. And I was like, well, no. Like, I don't want to because I
don't know when the season. You don't like.
It might be in there for 6 more months.
Yeah.
A year. I actually have 2 cookies that have been sitting in there since. Last summer.
Oh my gosh! From those Viking shows, right? It was Viking, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Did you bring it
in August. Yeah, I bought them in August. So I have one from that, and then one that I got at Sasquatch in September. They gave us one in like our check-in bag, and I just never ate it. I got home and it was like in my suitcase. And I was like, oh, tossed it in the freezer because I was gonna go into reverse, and I went and did other things, and I got desserts out. And so I just like left it in there, and there's just 2 sitting in there, and I'm like, they're probably so freezer
They're probably not
burnt.
even good.
Yeah,
they're
I'm
not.
just gonna throw them away.
Those are probably not even.
Okay,
from a year ago.
That cookie place or the cookies booth, so good.
What?
You got one?
No one brought me one.
I had a little chunk of his. I had like this little piece.
Yeah? Was it
it's
that
good? It's soft and moist.
I'm so
and
upset with you.
It's peanut butter and jelly, and then a s'mores one. I came home and reheated it, and
you heated it up.
It's so good. I was like, oh my god,
I hate you so much.
This was way better than at the. It was so nice.
I'll imagine that while I'm eating my egg whites in a little
I
bit.
just loved the texture.
Oh man,
You're welcome.
peanut butter. I hate you. Damn.
He's helping.
But
I
like,
know.
yeah. Anyway,
I know we got on this like. Oh, hold on a second.
I mean, I just like at the point where I'm at. I'm like, yeah. I think I was just like, no, cookies, post-show treats, just like aren't even on my like radar because for me that like this year I'm in the mindset it's not going to be a post-show treat that I'm looking for. It's going to be a post-reverse. Like that's a next off-season thing.
Yeah.
That's the next improvement season thing for me where I'll add it or I'll have that or maybe like one thing that show weekend or something if I know I'm not going to back-to-back peak weeks or something. But there'll be so much stuff like at the show or like I'll probably go to a restaurant and like want a piece of fresh cheesecake or something. Like,
it's like you want what you want. Like my thing was like I just wanted donuts, and I didn't care for cookies. I didn't care for candy.
Yeah.
I didn't care for anything else. I'm not gonna waste it. I just wanted donuts.
Yeah.
And so I got donuts.
Yeah.
Like,
don't get me wrong. I still look at like all the food porn on Instagram and like just like
and
drool
brunch.
over
Yes.
ridiculous food right now.
Yeah.
Like
But you
Yeah.
like
Hungry.
prioritize what you actually really
what's
want.
gonna actually go in your mouth?
but
Yeah.
reality, like I'm not spending money on anything.
Yeah.
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 It's not happening for a long time, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, I have one more
Oh, go.
update. So we officially this month in June, I am now a coach for performance posing. So
Yes.
you can go to performanceposing.com and
Work
book
with Flo.
online sessions with me and submit video techniques. I'm doing both. I'm not accepting in person, but just online sessions. And so yeah, Kaylia and I have been working on things like that.
Getting
so
her set
officially
up.
working together.
She just joined us. Yay!
So,
I'm very excited.
yeah.
Yes, very, very excited. So we're very excited to have her. She's going to be help. Performance posing is growing, and then I'm also trying to take a little bit of a step back in coaching so I can grow the business side of it, focus on some business things, some projects, and so Lo is going to take on all of our girlies, or most of our girlies, that join us for this upcoming season. So we're very excited to have her. And
Yay.
yeah, really
Excited.
Yes. Okay, it's my turn.
Yes.
My turn. So I competed, like 2 weeks ago, I think. What are we in? I feel like it's already been like 2 months. I don't
Right?
know. Yeah. So 2 months. So I'm reversing right now. I have some in my eye. I'm reversing right now. We decided not to do an immediate show. The plan would have probably been Junior Nats, but that was like 5 weeks later from Junior USA's. And my only feedback was more depth to the glutes. So I'm like, well, we're probably not going to bring that in 5 weeks. And now it could have been one of those things where like you just got to show up and see like who shows up. But the season's getting deeper. It's getting more competitive. I did win my class at Junior USA's, and you get your pro card if you win your class at Junior Nats. So like, it's kind of like, and as the national season goes on, there's more chances to earn your pro card by winning your class or placing top 2. So like, it was kind of a like, well, maybe I should go try that. But then it was also like, I'm not going to bring more depth to my glutes in 5 weeks, or even in like, a couple months or so. So we decided to go into a little, I think just kind of so I'm reversing. I'm taking it very seriously. I mean, I am basically just pretending I'm back on prep. However, with the caveat of like one time a day, if there's someone, like I literally just had a little spoonful of this chocolate peanut butter thing Steph brought me, but like that's my thing for the day. So like I might have like a little taste of something. That's my definition of like being looser right now. And if I've like already had that for the day, then I won't have any more for the day. But I'm just acting like I'm back on prep, and I'm just I'm just doing this reverse, like really, I want to do like a month of this and then and work my food up. The whole point is to not stay stage lean. That is not the point. I'm actually I was actually just talking to you about this. I actually I'm only like a pound or two. I fluctuate a pound or two from show day weight, stage weight. And I actually don't like that. I kind of like, I like want to hurry and put on like 3 more pounds, like 5 more pounds, because my feedback is to grow glutes. And so I'm like, and I already genetically struggle to grow glutes. And so I'm over here, and I had to take a 2-year off season just to get the glutes I have. So I'm over here like, oh my God, I need some body fat back on. I want these calories to go, like I want to be building. So I'm actually a little bit of like, let's hurry up and get some fat on and work the food up. My food's pretty dang good. I'm actually eating pretty well, but yeah, I don't know. It's going good. I do want to kind of add some body fat back on soon.
So you could be using
that
time.
Yeah, that time wisely and like efficiently. Yeah, because I don't want to have to take a 2-year or even a year off season.
Because you're not worried about getting lean again.
No, I'm not worried about
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will say the goal with this reverse, though, why I'm being so strict with it is because I am trying to stay way tighter than I ever have been before, because I want to work you want to eat as much as you can, do as little cardio as you can while maintaining a fairly lean physique in an off season, because I want my next prep to be just shorter and easier. I did 10 months of prep, and which was like fine. I was fine. It's just, if you don't have to do that, I don't want to do that again. I don't want it to take me 10 months, 9 months to get to my true stage lean conditioning, because that's what it took. Yeah. And so, so just stay in a little bit better range. Who knows what that range is? I think that's different for everyone based on what you look like and how much muscle you have and that kind of thing. In my head, it's like 10 to 15 pounds, but who knows? Maybe I need more than that, or maybe, I don't know.
Sometimes it's good to think about it like a percentage, because then at least it fluctuates with a different
percentage
weight.
of your body weight. Yeah.
Right.
So right now we're just slowly increasing the food, and just being super strict with it right now. I'd like to do this for the month and then maybe incorporate an untracked meal, and just because not only is it's also a behavioral thing with me too. I want to make sure I can go into an untracked meal, set myself up to where I don't feel like I have to finish everything on my plate, or I don't feel like I have to order everything off the menu to taste it. I definitely am not someone who has struggled with like binge eating or anything like that, like really serious binge eating or anything like that, but have definitely struggled with overeating, like just eating too much, right? Every competitor has.
It's like a scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm starting. Definitely,
it's my only chance. I have to do it now.
Exactly. Or even think about it. I don't know what it's like to not finish a meal.
Yeah.
We track our food to a
Yeah.
T.
Yeah.
We fill a bowl in a container and we eat that entire thing because we're meeting macros. And so it's like this trained thing that like if I order something and this food is in front of me, I've got to finish it. That's
Right.
what I ordered. That's
Yeah.
what I try. I don't know. And
No,
so
seriously.
It's a psychological thing too. Like even like you remember like your kid, like when you were kids growing up, your parents finish your food or you won't get dessert. You know, like you have to like finish your food. Like I feel like my parents told me that like a ton of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like a thing that we get so ingrained with ourselves, or like maybe even spending money going out to eat. It's like, oh, I
spent all
paid
this
for
money.
this.
Yeah.
Like I can't waste this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot. Like
Yeah.
when I go out to eat, it's like, oh, we bought this.
Yeah.
So it's like we
we
got to
need
even
to
take the
consume all of
leftovers.
it.
We have
but
to
we
eat it all.
don't like.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I want to train. So it's a mix of a couple things. It's a mix of I want the best reverse I've ever had. I want to set myself up for better preps, and I just want to prove to myself I can do it. And honestly, these past 2 weeks, now that I've done it, I'm like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
Why'd I have such a problem all the other times?
Yeah,
But no, but like now I'm just like, oh, because once it's kind of like that thing when you're losing weight and you see progress, and then it motivates you to keep losing weight and
Yeah.
keep seeing that progress and keep sticking to the plan. It's that, but opposite. It's this. It's like, oh, if I just don't eat out and I just track my food and stay busy and work and hang out with friends, but don't like, I don't, just because I don't have a show coming out doesn't mean I have to like, now I go out to eat and do all this stuff I wasn't doing in prep.
Before, yeah.
It's just like, oh, I can do that. Okay,
Yay.
good, noted.
That's
got it.
motivating me.
Love
I'm like back to
it.
my routine. I'll feel like that in 3 days. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going really good. It's going really, really good. And we'll just see how the next few weeks go. We'll see. We'll just keep watching, or the next, few months. It's probably going to be a good, what are we in, June, July? Probably a good three to 4. And then decide, okay, do we think we made enough progress to go try the national circuit again? And we'll either look at like North Americans or nationals. And so probably December would be nationals. That'd probably be the best bet. Because if I
Olympia
did...
amateur.
Yeah,
That one
Olympia
too.
amateur, nationals, because then that gives me like 4-ish months. We'll see. I don't know. I'm the type that's like, I don't know. I feel like I need like a year. But if I do nationals and like, let's say I don't get it, then it's like I can hold out maybe for Arnold again and Junior USA's again because they're
Yeah.
earlier in the year. So I can just do my same little mini reverse thing and do those. So that's the plan. Shorter off seasons. I'm probably like, I don't think I'm ever going to take super long off again unless I'm taking a long time off for family reasons.
Right.
But I'm probably going to be competing, this next year and a half, 2 years, and that's it before I take a bit of a break. So I want to kind of try to make this happen in this next
Yeah.
year, 2
Yeah.
years. So
Stay close, but still
Yeah.
make improvements.
yeah, and just see how that works for me if it does. And yeah,
And it
so it's
will.
going well.
Yeah, well,
That's
I'm
my
excited for
update.
you.
Yeah.
It's really cool because that's something I feel like we've just all discussed so much is like having that seriousness in a reverse, and just to make it so it's like successful for our next goals.
Yeah. And I think what I was saying in a conversation was like, I spent all prep talking myself into this mindset.
Yeah.
So like I think why I'm being so successful with it right now is because I talked myself into it. I just talked so much about wanting like a really successful good reverse, and so then it came down to it, and I'm like, well, shit, you gotta do it. I talked myself into doing it. I already created a plan. Like there's a month before the next like free meal, and then we're gonna evaluate how that goes. Do I feel like behaviorally I handled it to my standards, to how I wanted, and then then go back on plan for another couple weeks or few weeks until the next one, or do I feel like I can implement another one again sooner because I did so well the first?
Right.
Like I just want to take it in stages and see how it goes, and just continue building those like good positive habits, and then just chipping away at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really good process. You've prepared your mindset where it's not that show was the finish line or the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you had it from the whole time. Your plan is like the show is going to happen, and then the finish isn't until like we're reversing and then we're making the next goal or the next plan. Like there isn't, and I feel like that's very like, I don't know, aligned with life. Like there isn't like a finish line to anything. You're always growing, you're always learning, you're always preparing. And like successful people are always setting like the next bar or the next level. They're not just like, if I can make it to this, then I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
So yeah, the long-term goals can be broken down into these little short-term goals because you want your pro card. That's the long-term goal. But the short-term goals is that you then have to have, like you said, like a reverse that's up to your standards. You have to be on plan. You know, during prep, there's just so many things.
Because and the other thing is like, you know, what if Paul was like, all right, we're gonna shoot for North Americans. Like, and I'm like, okay, turn on prep. I don't want to be like 30 pounds above stage weight. And it's like, well, North Americans is in like 8 weeks. Like, I want to be within a window that's reasonable to get off. And like, if where the plan is to do, you know, shows later this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's that. And then also though, like another piece of it that's helping is that, like I'm with a new coach that has like, and to be honest, like it's a coach that he coaches top Olympians. Or sorry, top pro. Well, yeah, Olympians. He's got.
Yeah.
And so, top pros, Olympians, and it's like I just want like I don't know. I think I have a lot of respect for him and how he is as a coach and how he's handled me as an athlete. That it's like I want to give that back.
Yeah.
And
You
I
wanna
want
show up,
I want to show up and just be a good athlete
Yeah.
and just like take me seriously. Like I'll do whatever it takes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it too. So there's just like a lot of little parts that are adding up to like this reverse, and I'm happy with it. Very, very, very happy with it. And I just want to see how high we can get my food because I'm hungry.
Yeah. Yes.
But
I'm like,
Yeah.
my goal for reversing is to get my food up because this right now, where I'm at now, sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at a very low food.
Yeah.
You
You
and
doubled
I,
my
we
cards,
all-
but that was it. Like my
Woo.
cards doubled from pre show. But that was
I
it.
just
He
found
said
out.
you can start Monday. But the flexibility he gave me is he
Yeah.
said start Monday because my
Yeah.
dad was here or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I should have started today. I'm starting to feel that like, get back to routine. But I'm going to
Yeah.
feel like by like Monday, Tuesday is going to be my hungriest
You'll be
days.
hungry then.
And then you'd
Wednesday,
adapt and
Thursday,
get
I'll
up.
start to adapt and
Yeah.
be like, okay. So I'm telling myself that I'm competing, you know, just like you.
because you don't
I'm
know
still
what show
in
he's going to
prep.
pick for you.
Exactly. I'm still in prep.
Yeah, and it's like almost like keeping yourself ready, like for whatever you need.
Yeah.
Like, is it to have a more successful reverse? Is it to compete at this time or that time or feel good? Like,
Yeah,
like you're
yeah.
just like you just keep going. Like you're not stopped because it's
Yeah.
you're like, oh well, the show is done, so I'm done.
Yeah,
Like,
because my main goal is just to keep showing up, and to do that, I have to just be pretty much ready. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah. But I guess in terms of our long-term goals and short-term goals and how we kind of tackle that,
yeah.
I kind of want to put you guys on the spot right now.
Oh,
Oh.
boy. Uh-oh.
Okay. I want to know, can we go around and just give the audience, give us a long-term goal of your guys'
in bodybuilding
in
and competing.
anything.
In anything.
Business, life, or bodybuilding.
Oh, that's a deep question.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I want you to give.
What if I don't have it figured out?
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why it's called On the Spot.
Okay.
And then it's give us like a 1 to 2 or 3 like little process goals or short-term goals that are going to help you get there, or like what are you going to do to track yourself to get to this goal.
Okay.
And we're going to start with Kaylia because she seems like she's
Yes,
the
I
most
love
ready.
it. Yeah, because she'll.
I don't know.
Cody, these are questions
Bodybuilding-
we need thoughts on.
Start with
We need time.
bodybuilding because that one's easier.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding goal. I would.
It's a big goal.
A big goal?
Big goal.
I mean, I want my pro card. I want my pro card, but
'Kay.
can I put a
That's
butt?
great. No.
Oh, no butt.
No butts.
Pro card.
Butts don't belong in big goals.
My butt. I need a big butt to get to my big goal.
So funny.
My goal literally requires my butt.
All right.
And only my butt.
One butt. Just one butt.
Her literal butt.
Okay. How am I do to get there to get the pro card?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are your,
My
what are your-
steps?
Yeah. Like what are you doing today or tomorrow that helps you get there?
Well, this really good reverse. I hired a coach that has experience getting national athletes to their pro card. I listen to whatever he says, or if I don't, I partner with him. And then I'm handling this reverse the best I've ever handled it so that my physique can stay in a more attainable, manageable weight range to be able to easily turn the switch off or on, whether we are heading into a show or not. And and then I'm studying the sport. So I study the sport, and I am paying attention to the details that are like who are earning pro cards, who are winning pro cards, what do their physiques look like, what does their stage presence look like, and I'm also, I don't know, being, I think, strategic with shows that I'm doing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Great. Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding.
Low.
Okay.
I've thought about this a lot because mini goals are something that are super important to me. It's something that I've always kind of felt is something that's very, very needed to reach a long-term goal. Because a lot of times I've almost felt like it takes a uncomfortable amount of confidence for the level of like big goal that I want. So with bodybuilding, from the beginning, my goal has always been to reach my maximum potential as an athlete. I know that sounds extremely vague, but it's
No.
something that's like, because I know like goals there should be a little bit more specific, but I've made my like stepping stone goals, is what I call them, much more specific. Like originally it was to, you know, like step on stage. And then I made a goal to win a show, but I think I only won the one NPC show was the one I got my pro card at. But then my goal was to get my pro card. And then my goal, once I turned pro, was to get in the first call out. And then my goal was to get a top 5. And my current goal is to get a top 3. But then I already know that my next goal is to make it to the Olympia. If that's like as my stepping stone progress. And so I've kind of just over time like keep adding things to reach my maximum potential. Because if you would have asked me a few years ago, I would have never thought my goal could be the way the goals are today. So I've kind of keep moving my stairs as I find that my potential has more legs.
Yeah.
You know, like has more room to grow. And so I don't like right now, like I truly like my current goal is to get top 3 at a pro show. Because I got my top 5 last year and that's what I wanted. If I skip top 3 and win, like that's fine. Just like my goal was to turn pro, like I wanted to win a show. I never won an NPC show. I never got an overall. Like those were goals I like wanted and had, but I went past them when I was at the national level. So it's like I'm good with like going to my next step, but so it kind of sounds a little convoluted, but it's like I've thought about it a lot. I've written on it. I've journaled on it and thought about it quite a bit. So that's kind of like my personal big picture. And I always phrase it as like my goal is to reach my potential as an athlete.
I love that.
And so, you know, like as I grow, I find, oh, my potential has more. And then I set what my next level I want to reach is.
Yeah, it's like a constantly evolving goal because I have a similar goal in that whole potential thing because sometimes you just don't know what that endpoint looks like for you, right? And as the sport also evolves too, like you know, there's athletes that were winning in the past that their physiques aren't competitive anymore because of how bikini has evolved. And so sometimes it's just, you know, setting realistic goals based on where you're at. And I mean, I think that is super close to what my long-term goal was as well, is just to see how far can I make it in this sport, you know? But
and sometimes I have I want you to be able to go.
No, you're good. No.
I was gonna say, I find like sometimes I find it really hard to when I hear other people saying their goal and it's like 3 steps up. You know, I'm like back up. You need to have like goals that fit what the next step is. Does that make sense? Like maybe someone who competed in their first show and it was a really small show or something, and they just like caught the bug and they're like, I'm going to turn pro. It's like, well, hold up. Like there's a lot. Yeah. Like there's a lot to get there. Like you never even been to a national show. You
or
don't
a
even
regional show.
Or like you like didn't, I mean, who knows even if the regional show was very big or competitive
Yeah.
or like where your true level is. I mean, maybe you do look amazing. That's where you're going. But I think there's a lot of, you got to be very realistic on your next step. Like, of course, set the big goals, dream.
Yeah.
Go for
absolutely.
it.
The
Like,
confidence.
Yeah.
I'm all about
everything. Yeah,
that.
the energy, for sure.
yeah, but like also knowing kind of where you are currently is like a really, I think, is something that's like important to acknowledge. And then set like stepping stone goals or mini goals to your dream goal, but actionable goals along the way, like ones that are going to happen. Because I'm a big
To
believer
keep
in following
motivating
through.
you to get to work in between to get to that next stepping stone.
And to have accomplishments too.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, especially when their goal is to get a pro card, and they don't get it, they just feel like a failure and a failure and a failure. And it's like, you're not a failure. You're amazing.
You moved up,
Like, think about last year. You didn't place at the national show, and then this year you got first call outs. Like, you're still achieving and you're growing and you're learning and things like that. So there's always like acknowledgement of like achievement. So if you set a goal that you achieve, not too easy, something that's challenging,
Yeah.
you know, something that's a true like up there,
Yeah.
achieve that, check it off, set the next one. But you can write out those stair steps, like what you really want to get to. But
'Cause
just
what
focus
what
on
does
each one.
achieving those small goals give you? Because I think it gives you a lot of self-confidence because
Belief in-
you believe in yourself.
do
You
it.
can see that, you know, that you follow through with what
Yeah.
you say you're going to tell what you tell yourself you're going to do.
Yes.
I think that's like
Absolutely.
the proof of what you're doing. Your main goals, like
Right.
the small goals are like your proof to.
Yeah.
hitting those
And
big
your
goals.
brain's proof that you can do this because you also, like, when you achieve these small goals towards your bigger goal, you evolve as a person. And so then your brain also has to believe, because when you first step on stage, like, I wasn't going around calling myself a bodybuilder or like, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
you know, but now that, you know, I have competed in my third pro show, most of my friends and people that know me see me as a bodybuilder, which has completely evolved over time. Like, I wasn't that athletic in high school and things like that. And now people are like, oh yeah, you're so fit. And I'm like, wow, like I can't believe that's become part of my
I've come
identity.
such a long way.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, when I was in school and things, I think people more labeled me as you're a nerd because I'm like, I was not like, you know, like as athletic and doing as many things. So it's just cool to see that your label can change, but it also changes for you inside your brain, you know, with all the small goals and all that. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think there's a very big psychological like motivation when you're achieving goals that keep you even on track to set bigger goals that where you like really know you can achieve those, and following through with things. Because like for me, like oh my gosh, I kept it in and wouldn't tell people that I wanted to get my pro card for so long because I didn't believe in myself at first.
Right.
When I like was like heading to the national stage, and I was like, if I say that's my goal and I don't get this, I'm gonna be so upset. And then finally I had this like realization, and I was in prep for North Americans 2020, and I ended up getting third there, but I was like in prep for it, and I like put it on a little one of those little signs where you put the letters on it, those felt boards with the little plastic letters, and I put like IFBB Pro on there. And
you got pictures with this.
and I took a picture with it and I posted it, and I was like, I believe in myself. And it took a while. I mean, it was only my second national show that I was prepping for, but like it took me a bit to believe in that goal. And I was glad that I like put it out there and was like, because I like knew it was something achievable at that time, because I felt like I had accomplished a few other things in between the last time I had been on national stage, and I had gotten a new coach, and I'd done things necessary. I'd taken an off season. I'd improved. I'd gotten ready. I had a posing coach. I like did a lot to get there.
Yeah.
But it was like a huge moment of believing in myself to like make that little sign.
Yeah, because it's scary, because then it becomes more real, and the failure becomes more real if it's not achieved, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. That makes sense.
It was like hard to put it out there because it was like I knew that was my goal in my like heart.
Yeah.
But like I just like was scared to not follow through with achieving it publicly, I guess.
Yeah.
But making the sign and having it in my kitchen was like so like important to me, and it like put it out there, and I was like, and that's where it's like I got the confidence.
And then you manifested it and it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took another year and a half and
But it happened.
5 more national shows, but I did it
Right? Yeah,
after
you got
that.
there. No, absolutely.
But you know, because I just kept learning and
Yeah.
going, and not giving up on it, and so
Yeah.
it's like things like that, like even putting out there, like you're like, I want a pro card.
I
Like,
actually want to change my goal, Cody. Can I change my goal?
no,
This is this is a very Kaylia-like moment.
Yeah. Changing
Pause.
it. I had more time to think.
It's okay.
Okay.
This is not on the spot then.
Actual goal. You're right. It's not on the spot. Dang it.
okay.
But
Good exercise on the spot.
Yeah.
it is. Okay, it made me think like you can't be put on the spot. Just say no.
just say no.
Just say no. Pass. I should have
I
given
mean,
up my
Steph
one
kind
to
of
them.
avoided this.
I
She
know.
was just like,
I'm
me too, me
Yep,
too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yep. What they said.
No,
Ditto.
my goal, if in bodybuilding, it would actually be my business. It wouldn't be my pro card because I'm on the same sense of like that may never happen, and I've always known that. I've always known that a pro card may not happen. It may not be in the cards for me, and I'm okay with that. I'm literally okay with that. Like I'm totally fine. I love my business, and I love helping girls, whether they're trying to step on the stage for the first time and the only time, or get to a national level, or or they're trying to get to a pro level. Like I love helping them through their journey, and I love making an impact, and I love inspiring, and I love to teach, and I like to coach and mentor. That is what I love. That is what gives me the most fulfillment, is my business. And even as a business owner, I love running a business. I love the little details of it, growing it, learning, testing, trying, implementing. I love that. And so my bigger like life and bodybuilding goal is to grow performance posing and just keep evolving that and getting better at that as being not only a posing coach but a business owner. And then so that I can hire people like bringing on Lo, and then in the future we're going to need another quick coach, and so I can bring people, mentor and teach them what I've learned and have them do it now with the athletes, and then I can help run the business. So my business is my main goal. Yeah. It's like my life and my bodybuilder goal. Because if I stop competing, which I will stop, fairly in the near future, stop being an active competitor. That's what I can do forever. Whether it's being a posing coach or training posing coaches to be posing coaches, that's what I can do forever. And that my business right now is what motivates me inspires me to keep competing though, because I'm learning. Like I like actively competing. It's marketing for my business, but also I'm still learning, and I'm applying what I'm learning to my business and to being a posing coach and evolving that. So that is
I think the big takeaway then is like it's good to have really like more than one goal when it comes to like bigger goals, because you're like you said, everybody's gonna stop competing one day, so you might as well like have something that's like you can enjoy competing, but you're never gonna be on stage forever. So find something that's like a middle ground that's like a love for yourself.
And that's kind of like that longer term goal setting. Like for you, like getting your pro card is something that like can happen along the way.
Yes.
But it's something that you're doing as you're growing your business.
Yeah.
You're doing it alongside because it aligns.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, because it's kind of like even like a lot of the clients that you're reaching and inspiring and teaching, they're looking up to you and seeing how hard you try and the way that you're working, and they're inspired by that. And no matter what, like whenever you retire from competing, that journey is still happen. It's part of your history. It's part of even like when you talk about like, hey, I started performance posing and this is the journey I had throughout it. Like it's always going to be there. And I think that's really cool. And so it'll always inspire people as you build that history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
love
change
that.
goal. Delete my other one. Just kidding.
And now we're keeping that, right?
The butt.
That was funny.
So
yeah, I guess I have to add to it
yeah,
now.
you
Hey?
have to add.
That's like,
yeah,
I
me
have to say
too.
something. So long-term wise, I guess my biggest goal from just even starting to compete, or even just, I would say, learning, I don't even know, learning this certain mentality skills from incorporating the gym and from prepping and competing and all of that, is just to, and with coaching as well, is just to help other people, I guess, not make the mistakes that I did with coaching, or with competing, sorry, as a coach, and then just have a better mental, a better mindset, I guess, around weight loss and competing and things like that, because I think that I've learned a ton along the way. And I think that it's very easy to, I guess, implement in other areas of your life, like you're saying, like taking something that is long-term, breaking it down into short-term goals. I really like the way that I've incorporated competing into my life in terms of just still being able to work a full-time job, still being able to do family life and family things, and still compete, and just kind of have everything, to me, most of the time, in a good balance between all those things and juggling all those balls. So that's something that I hope to inspire my athletes to have, that kind of well-rounded balance to it, and not always put, competing first so that all these other balls drop, or, have that on and off switch where I'm in prep, I'm in off season, it's hard for me to prep again because I can't, keep everything in balance. So that's been a big goal of mine, with just starting to coach and things like that. But I agree with you. I think that those long-term goals, and then breaking it down into small steps, can be implemented in like all areas of life for sure. So I think, I don't know, mine's kind of vague too. Mine's kind of a little bit vague too.
Yeah.
But no,
You're
it's
like
just something
wanting
I'm
to
passionate
be like
about.
a good role model for, like, it sounds like to me, like you're wanting to not only just for like other people who do the sport, but like you're even wanting to like take what competing has taught you mentally, but apply it to like your family life, and you're gonna have a family someday, and like like
and just all encompassing, kind of
being
thing,
just all encompassing, a good role model, like a good human,
a good
role model,
and a good representative of the sport in general. So I think that's my biggest goal. Whether that is a qualification to the Olympia or not, that's like my small short-term, like competing, like specific competing goal. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do competing wise, I guess, in the next year and a half. But yeah, just taking the things that I've learned from working backwards is a good one that we do for getting everything done during prep. Like, okay, I've got to do cardio, I've got to meal prep. Like, how do I balance that? Where does that go and fit into the schedule? And then, I don't know, even just taking small goals, like, for example, with my student loans. My student loans have been huge. Like, I think it was like coming out of school, like maybe 250,000, something like that. That was crazy. And so I had 3 different student loans going on, and I paid off one last month. And so that's been a really good goal for me, just in terms of like finances and stuff. And if I thought about the fact that it's $250,000 all the time, I probably wouldn't pay off any. It's like, paralyzing to think about that
1
much
out of 3
money.
check.
Exactly. And so I'm like over here, like,
just 2 more
celebrating. Yeah, exactly. Celebrating one out of a third is done. A third is done. But no, that's like a little goal. Like, I kind of just also take that and apply it to different parts of life. So I think it's the gym teaches you a lot more than people think.
Yeah. And also, I feel like there's like different ways of like, I'm actually curious to kind of see how you guys kind of do some of this. Like, if you're sitting there and you're like by yourself thinking, reflecting on like, okay, so what are my goals? Is there anything that you do to do you write goals? Do you do things? I know some people have done like vision boards, or they'll journal or anything. Is there any like sort of practices that like you guys have implemented to help you like achieve goals over the past, or are doing for future goals?
You go first.
Oh,
okay.
So you're very process
I know.
oriented.
Right? I know.
I'm like, I live out of OneNote, or like, and so I have, I have different like notebooks in OneNote, and it's like, personal, and then my husband's business and my business, and and then within those, like, there's goals, and there's tabs, and
I
and
actually
so
have the exact same thing. I was gonna
okay,
say,
yeah, I
the
love
exact same
OneNote.
thing,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's why it's like hard for me to switch
Yeah.
to like Mac or something.
Is that the one with the blue? Is that the blue with
Purple.
pencil? No, maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
You might be thinking.
It might be.
Mine's
Notability.
Notability.
Yeah.
Oh, OneNote.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
what I
Okay,
used.
keep going.
Learned it in corporate, so I just kept it
Yeah.
all. But and so I have like a tab in there for my goals, and it's like, it. And here's what the high level big old goal is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I do the whole like, okay, let's work our way down from there. Like, there's the umbrella, and then let's work our way down and make this like tree flow chart kind of thing, And and so to get to this goal, what things do I need to do? Because let's say there's like 3 things. Okay, to get to those, what do I need to do? And then so that's what I do. And I kind of then, write out like there's the goals, but then what are the, the smaller milestones to get there? And then what are the action items like in order to achieve those milestones?
Yeah.
And so what actions do I actually have to take? And then what those actions are, now how am I going to implement them into my life and then go? And so how do I execute them? That's how I look at everything in general in life, but that's how I look at my goal setting.
And also setting like a timeline too. I think on some of the action items, I think there's certain things like for me, like the umbrella goal, like my timeline is a little looser because I don't know how long it's going to take for the smaller items to be achieved. So I feel like some of my like more immediate smaller goals end up having more specific timelines.
Yes. Yeah.
And so like it's easier for me to assign like I will do this by this time, or I'm going to be actively working on these things. And I break it down like that way. And then I always leave kind of my umbrella goals a little more open-ended on like the timeline because I want to make sure that I'm achieving like the smaller ones first. I try to write everything down. Sometimes I feel like I get like almost overwhelmed and then I'll like stop. But then I find that I'm more successful the times that I do sit and write it all out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do it every year on my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I do it on my birthday
I
just
love
because
that.
it's like I don't like the idea of it being sometimes I feel like it becomes a little negative and daunting when you kind of sit down and think about where you're not and then where you want to get to. And so I try to do it on my birthday because birthdays are happy times.
Yeah, that's
and then
good. I like that
That's
strategy.
cool.
I get to look back on like, oh my, I
gonna
guess
have
it
to
would
do
be my
that.
28th year.
I know we might steal this.
Yeah, I was like, my birthday's coming up. I might have to do
Who cares about
goal
New
setting
Year's?
too.
We're
That's why I
gonna-
do it by year. So I'm like, okay, my 28th year. Like, what am I doing? Like, this one would be my 30th. Oh my gosh, my 30th year. Right? But then I look back on my 29th and I usually I have it broken down into 5 to 7 goals. And then each goal is for that year. And so I broke down, like for bodybuilding, obviously the bigger one was get my pro card or whatnot. But it was, if you look back from like 23, it was get an overall win and then place top 5 in a national show and then get my pro card, place top 2, and then place top 10 at a pro show. And then place top 5 at a pro show, and then so on and so forth, right? It just keeps going.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I like I do the actionable thing as well. Like, how am I going to get there? But I also think about what I have. How am I going to get there? But I also think about what habits do I have right now that are stopping me from getting there. So I also put next to it what things do I have to either cut or reduce or
Overcome or
change-
like
exactly, so that I know what are my challenges and what things do I have to like promote more. To get there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
like
kind of
that a
little
lot.
like different things. With the financial one, it's kind of sucky to look at where you're spending money sometimes.
Ugh,
and be like,
I
I
know.
actually have
It's
to like
depressing.
not
Like, I
stop
don't
at the
wanna
gas
stop.
station and get an energy drink every day. I'm actually like paying for a whole convenience store by the end of the year. Like, you know what I mean? So looking at that, I'm like, okay, so I got to stop doing that. Maybe buy like a case at Costco or something like a little bit more cost effective.
Yeah.
But those are just little things because I want to pay off this or I
Right.
want to do whatever. And
And that's where like I feel like sometimes like big goals like start to overlap. Like you have circles, like your financial goals have to be in line in order to do your hobby goals.
Yeah.
Like bodybuilding is a hobby goal as much as like a lifestyle, maybe more a lifestyle goal.
yeah.
You know, because it's something like we do all the time,
Yeah.
and it's by choice. It's an elective goal. And so it's like, but you have to kind of have the finances so that it doesn't take away from your family or your home or your future or paying off student loans or
it's kind of
putting
why
in your business.
I was going to say, it's kind of like, that is part of it, like a little bit of a factor of why I didn't continue doing shows. I could have just kept doing some national shows to see, but I was like, weighing the, like, you know, is it worth it? Because it is so expensive to travel right now, and I want to invest some money and time into my business right now. And so it's like, could I just go see if my glutes can make it at the next national show? Or reality is like they probably could just use some time off and grow. And then we'll save those thousands of dollars and be able to put that into the business and make thousands of dollars.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
so way more. So it's like, let's just do that.
No, exactly.
And then we get to eat a little bit more in the time. But so
thousands of calories.
Yeah,
Let's go from hundreds.
thousands of calories. But it's, you just have to think, it's like, setting those goals and thinking of it that way then.
Yeah, and seeing what goals kind of help, like in other areas of your life, benefit the other ones. Like just kind of, because there's overlapping circles. I think like if you look at like big life goal things, there's like financial, family, spiritual, like there's different areas of your life that like kind of like overlap. And if it's like a three-legged stool, if one of the legs goes out, it's gonna fall over.
And it doesn't feel as good in the other areas either. Like imagine competing and not having the money to compete. Like you're thinking about like finances when you're at the show. Like that wouldn't feel good.
No.
Or like your family's not going. Like your husband's not there. Your boyfriend's not there because you got in an argument. Like that win would not feel as good. Right?
Yeah. Or building up credit card debt to get there so badly that like then like afterwards you're struggling and you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Like there's also like preparation. So even though like maybe you have this goal of hitting the stage, maybe you need to hit a goal of saving up some money before you do that. So you can do things like build your glutes while you wait.
Right, exactly. So it's like a balance, and it's different for everyone and how that looks. And
So I think there's like a lot of like big picture things to do when you're setting goals, especially within bodybuilding, because it is so elective and there are parts that are really expensive.
Like all of them.
Like all of them,
like every part.
I mean,
Even prep brain.
What is the cheapest part of competing?
I know what it is.
What's the cheapest part?
The cheapest part of competing are the like wrist jewelry. Because you bought.
Oh, you're right.
You bought one and it was like $15.
It was like $18.
Yeah,
Yes, I
like,
broke my earring and.
That was the cheapest thing I've ever seen you pay for.
Yeah, you're
Oh
right.
my gosh.
That's true. It probably is the jewelry.
Yeah.
Right?
The jewelry is
Is
the
this just
cheapest.
plastic?
It's just these plastic little
It's just
fake
costume
rhinestones.
jewelry.
Yeah, my
I don't
earring
know.
was breaking, and I was like, "Oh, there's a jewelry booth. I need new earrings so that I can go to finals." And
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah,
Yeah, or like
I don't even know what it would.
Yeah, because food's not, because we all do quality, good food.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you're not competing,
Maybe
you got to
quickly.
eat. But like,
yeah.
And you
I don't
eat
know. It's
out,
like
so then
snacks.
that's a bill.
yeah, I don't know. Food's just going to be a life expense. It's always
Meals.
expensive.
I don't know.
But traveling, gym memberships, like it adds up because it's like, as a bodybuilder, a lot of us have like more than one because life or one thing or the other, or like meeting up with people or the community that you are. So it's like you just like have more expenses, and coaching isn't cheap, and neither is.
How would you guys?
Yeah.
So, like in regards to setting goals in bodybuilding, how would you? You know, a lot of like new competitors are probably listening to us, and so how would you tell a new competitor how to set goals? Like, if they are looking, you know, listening to this and they want to get to national level, pro level, they have to start somewhere. And then like, how would you recommend that?
How would you work backwards?
Yeah. How would you set those short term to get to those longer term goals?
That's a really good question.
So, if I was setting a goal as okay, how many shows have I done? Let's like paint this picture. Have I stepped on stage? Have I like where?
So I would.
am I at?
So like. Okay, I'm going to approach it from, I get a lot of girls that talk to me about like, cause I work with a lot of beginners and they are, you know, they're nervous about their first show. And and then what I always tell girls is just look at this first show as a learning experience. Set no expectation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So your goal is to go into this show and soak up all the knowledge and experience you can, and then make a plan from there on what you want your goal to be, your future goal
idea.
for bodybuilding to be. Because do you
Yeah.
even know if you like it?
Yeah.
I've had some girls that get off stage and they're like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And I've had
Yeah.
some girls that love it and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I want to figure out how to get to nationals.
Yeah.
And so then,
I would add to that and say, get on stage and just do your best this prep.
yes,
Like
just,
whatever that looks like. Just do your absolute best, and then exactly what you said.
yeah. And then that. And then I would say, okay, how you get nationally qualified is top 2 and open. How are we going to get there? How did you do your last show?
Yeah.
What was the judges' feedback?
Yeah.
You probably need to go into some kind of improvement season.
Yeah, I'll probably have to grow.
You probably have to grow. And
Yeah.
so, talk to your coach. What does that look like timeline-wise?
Talk to your family. What
Talk
does
to
that
your
look
family,
like?
money-wise.
Yes.
Like, what does it... So, create that plan with your family and coach together on what that plan looks like. And then, when you guys think you'll be ready to compete again and go into a prep, family, financially, health-wise,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
make sure you're healthy. And then just work towards that. Enjoy that improvement season with the goal that prep is going to start around maybe this time, depending on how things are going.
Yeah.
And then go into your first maybe official, like real, I almost call it competitive season. You're trying to now, place an open.
Yeah.
And maybe that's in the top 5, maybe that's the top 3, maybe that's getting your first or second so you can get nationally qualified.
Yeah.
You're trying to see now where you fit competitively in an open class.
Right. At a regional level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at a regional level.
Yeah.
And then once you have that, you do that, then you game plan from there. I mean, you really have to take, honestly, with bodybuilding, a lot of it is you've got to take it show by show,
Yeah.
right?
Or season by
Absolutely.
season.
It's
yeah.
season by season
Yeah.
because, I mean, one show you could have gotten 5th in that open class, but then you could have gone and done a show 4 weeks later because you just needed to get a little bit leaner.
Yeah.
And won the class. You're nationally qualified.
Yeah.
Boom. There we
Yeah.
go. Goal that stepping stone achieved.
Right. Right.
So sometimes you really have to take it show by show.
Yeah.
And then once you've achieved, and let's say you got your 5th, 4th, and open, you're outside of that top 2. Well, you achieved your goal of placing an open. So look at those short-term goals.
Yeah. That's why it's good to have them written down, because sometimes mentally
You forget.
You
You
where
focus
you
on the
actually,
the negative. That,
absolutely.
I didn't get first or second.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that happened to me when I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't placed top 3 at my pro, shows and whatnot. And I look back and my goal last year was just to place top 10. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, you're like, I surpassed that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's always
Reminded
good to
yourself
have
of what
it.
original goal you really set,
Yeah,
and
'cause
you're like, oh,
right, because as bodybuilders and just
Yeah.
competitors, we are just always on to the next
and we're go, 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 go.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always good to write them down.
And I think there's also the cliche, like, what's your why?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, is this to, like, only achieve a competitive goal, or is it a personal goal? Is it a transformation? Like, maybe you've never had muscle, or maybe you've never been lean, like maybe different things like that. Like why are you doing this? Are you doing this to be very competitive, or are you doing this to have fun?
Right.
Like, I know I've talked to some girls who are locally here who, like, they're doing it to just stay in shape.
Yeah.
They just love doing it over and over again. They love the glam. They don't necessarily care to go on to a national show. They just want to keep competing because they love it.
I would
Yeah.
say I used to be, so I have changed over the past couple of years, and it is since starting my business, which is why I know my like true passion changed, like my purpose kind of, because I used to be much more competitive about bodybuilding. Cody knows, like I used to be so like just really competitive about it and just really like all in on making these certain goals within bodybuilding happen. And then I have become much less like, I'm still competitive. Like I still train and prep and like I'm a champion. Like I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Like but because that's just the person I am, and that's what I like what competing does to me as a person in my life, and I like who it makes me be. And so but like I just said earlier, I don't know if a pro card's in the cards for me. And so like I don't know, like so I don't I'm not over here like just so upset I didn't get my pro card.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But
I
that's
honestly
healthier, right? Because it's like if you get so wrapped up in the placings, when
Yeah.
you don't place a certain way, it's like devastating. Even though you did actually, like when you put those pictures side by side or whatever.
I focus on that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you see the
guys,
Did you
improvement.
improve?
Like,
Did you
look at
improve?
this improvement?
And your
like,
coach's feedback as for you as
Yeah.
an athlete.
yes,
right?
like I focus on that.
Much
I
more
am, like,
fulfilling.
yes,
Absolutely.
so much more fulfilling, and like I just focus on those goals, like, and just keep like really though, just keep really. What really makes me happy is people that come up to me and they're like, "You just seem like you're having so much fun," and I'm like, "I am,
Yes.
I am."
Yeah.
Like I am,
Yeah.
and whether I'm a pro or not,
Yeah.
I'm having fun, and you can too. You
Yeah.
can do this sport
Yes.
and have fun,
yes.
be healthy,
Yes.
and like have it just be a positive thing in your life, and that's like what I just want to be.
Yeah.
I just want to reflect
It's
that.
a role model thing.
Yes.
I think it's okay. It
Yeah.
is.
And
like,
if, like,
it really is.
I
It comes
finally
down
think
to
I
that.
accepted like a couple years
Yeah.
ago, like a pro card doesn't define me. It doesn't define what athlete
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't define me. If it happens, oh my God, thank you.
Or how
Like, yes.
successful you were as a
Right,
bodybuilder,
right.
as a bikini competitor.
Yeah, and like there's other things that define me as an athlete and a competitor,
Absolutely.
and make me successful, and so
Yeah, there's a bigger footprint that you've left than just being like, oh, do you remember that girl won her pro card at blah blah show? And
Yeah.
was the overall,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah,
Like you've had a bigger impact than that already. I
Yeah.
would say.
and I want to have.
Yeah,
like,
even more.
And I think earning a pro card is like, I mean, like that.
Yes, no,
don't
we're
get
not
me
taking
wrong,
away
guys.
from
I will
that.
bawl
Yeah.
my eyes
I'm
out,
not
and
getting
I
mine
will
back.
like never let go of that card. But like, but yeah, like it's.
We're all it's a competition, you know, at the end of the day. Like there it is a competition. Like so like of course everyone wants to
Wanna
win, or
win.
everyone wants to place well or whatever. But it is nice to remember that you're more than a placing and that you are improving or you have come far. And it is also bodybuilding is one of those weird sports where it is so subjective that
Yeah.
you have to take placings with like a grain of
a
salt.
grain of salt.
Because like
Kind of.
like
yeah.
I mean to a point, you know,
yeah.
you just have to be realistic
Yeah.
about like that it's not all good. It can't all be everyone's day that day.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
going to be one person's day that day and they're going to be the
Way
winner.
more people competing than there are getting placings.
Yeah.
In pro cards, and yeah.
And also a bad placing on one show does not define you. You can go up and down. It can be a roller coaster. You can come back from it. You can
Yeah.
continue like getting like that you didn't win. Let's say you got fourth. Doesn't mean that you can't eventually get your pro card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like literally, like I feel like I'm a good example of that. I never won an NPC show and I never won an overall. And I've placed top 5 at a pro show.
Right.
Like it's just everybody has such a different journey.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different ways to go through it. Yeah, because like I even heard there was a girl who got I don't remember what placing she got at the Idaho show this weekend, and she was just really bummed. And I'm like, it's understandable. Like
Yeah.
you didn't get the placing that you wanted, but like, you know, make a plan for the next goal and
Yeah.
and then that's where you put your efforts in, take the feedback and set more goals. And that's kind of what this all is a journey and a learning experience. So don't take it as that you lost. Take it as like, oh, so I need to, I don't know what.
On this part of
Yeah.
the journey, we're gonna pivot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the pivot? What's the
Yeah.
next step? What's the next show?
Yeah.
What's the next, or like, is my goal to do something else? Or like, was my heart not in it?
Yeah.
Like, did I not align with this? Like,
Yeah.
do I really like just rather be in the gym getting fit for me? Am I not really feeling competing? Like,
Yeah.
that's
I tell my
okay.
athletes sometimes if they're very focused on the placing, I tell them to kind of zoom out
Yeah.
Yeah.
from
That's
that
good,
picture,
yeah.
right? As opposed to just thinking about like that specific
Yeah.
placing. Like think about the prep as a whole. Like think about what just happened and transpired over the last, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it was. How did you change as an athlete? How has your family been impacted? How have you, changed as a competitor? Like there's just so many things.
Are
And
you
so-
happy doing something that you chose to do?
Yeah. Like,
That's a big
for
question.
example, like with Wasatch, like I got 12th at that show. Obviously I did want to be top 10. I think at that show, that was my goal. But when I put my Wasatch, 2023 next to my 2024, it was like astronomical, huge improvements. And then I
Yeah.
took those improvements and went to optimum. So, it's just
You
zooming
can't even be
out,
mad.
right?
You're like,
it's the
well,
same thing.
yeah, I
Right?
improved. So
Yeah. Yeah.
You improved and you got the feedback. You knew what you needed, and you also got experience. Like that was a
You're
really fun
also-
weekend.
Also, it's important to be realistic. Like, you're realistic of, like, that show had 15, 14 Olympians in it.
right.
Like, just, it was,
Yeah.
like, it was a huge show.
Yeah.
It had some crazy talent in it. So you have to even apply those to, like, okay, getting 12th is pretty dang good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Right, there was 36 bikini.
Yeah.
I just always thought it was like, you were in the top half.
yeah. Look at
My brain was satisfied. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, it just like
you have to
wasn't
do
right?
stuff like
'Cause
that.
I didn't get that top 10, and so instead of focusing on like, okay, like it wasn't top 10, like I don't want to keep going, because then to me it paints a negative cloud, and it wouldn't make me motivated to like use the feedback and go.
Yeah.
To some extent, right? It's kind of like, I find that if you look at the positives of what you've achieved, it makes you more motivated
Yeah.
to continue and do that next thing.
And keep your mindset positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just keeps you in a good space.
And like journeys aren't always a straight line. You see all the little graphics of that. Like, it's so true. Like, not everything is like linear, like to success. And a dip doesn't define that you're not going to be successful.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of like take each little bit in stride, and maybe even like you aren't ready for a show and you have to reschedule, you're still prepping for a show. You're not bad. You're just having a longer journey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the way it works. And so it's just like you can always adjust and evolve goals. I think it's like even like how you were talking about how like your bigger picture and your why like really evolved as an athlete, and you're happier. Because it's more aligned with how you truly feel deep down. And I think that's just really important to recognize and always reflect upon.
And appreciate.
Yeah. I'm
So-
definitely doing the birthday thing, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
know.
about it in my head.
She's like making
super
plans now.
cute.
She's
I'm like,
goal
how can
setting.
I do
right?
personal goal setting
She's-
because I need to do this now.
It's super cute. And then it's not like a New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
that
different
just has
than
a
the
bad like taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
It's too
like-
cliche. It's too cliche.
It's its own little New
I
Year's.
just have
It's
to do
own-
things just a little different.
It's gonna be a little unique here. So, if we have a regional level competitor, then bringing it back to that, that's qualified for nationals. So now this is a nationally qualified athlete. Now setting goals. They're trying. So why do we typically go to nationals? It's because we're trying to get a pro card.
Yes.
And
Just see where
so
you land first.
Yep. So
See where
and
you land.
yes. So it's kind of
Right.
like going back to the region. Your first show is a regional experience. Have your best. Be your best self. Be your best athlete.
Yeah.
Do your best.
But be realistic. How did you qualify? Did you qualify 2 out of 2? Did you qualify?
Did you beat 5, 10, 15 girls?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And-
was this a bigger show? And then based on that, think about where you might land nationally.
So what I would do is I would take your stage pictures and I would pull up some national shows, look at the top 5 of your height class, and look at what they look like. Look at what, like everything, tan, hair,
Conditioning.
suit, makeup, conditioning, muscle development, all of that, and where are your weaknesses, where are your strengths. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go do a national show, but be realistic in what kind of competition shows up, because the national level and those top call outs, a lot of the times, like those girls are almost pros, or they are pro, like they're just, they're
They're just waiting for their time.
yeah, their time. And a lot of those physiques get like, they're closer and closer to competitive. They're harder to choose between, like, and so, yeah, you just need to be realistic. If it's your very first national show, oh wait, I'm gonna back up. Let's say at a regional level, you won your class or you won an overall.
Yeah.
Does not mean you're going to a national show getting your pro card.
Yeah, that's why I said
Yes.
being,
Yeah.
it depends.
There's a
which
lot
show
of
it is. Is it
girls
2
that
out of
win
2?
overalls and think,
Right.
oh, I'm a pro, like I'm going to go to nationals and win a
I'm
pro
gonna win.
card.
Yeah.
No, you are a 1 overall winner out of a sea of
Yes.
overall winners.
Yes.
And it depends on what show did you win your overall at. I got an overall earlier this year, and guys, I'm going to be honest, it was like an early show in the year, and it had a lot of like newer competitors at it that had been competing way less than me. And so I knew, just because that doesn't mean anything, taking that overall
Yeah.
to the national
Yeah.
level meant nothing. Like
Yeah.
it didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm starting all over again.
Yeah, confidence wise, it helps. I won an overall at Battle of the Eagle in 2019, I think. And then I didn't get my pro card till 2023. 2023.
Oh, so several years. So it took you,
it took me
Yeah.
years afterwards.
My first show was in 2017, and I got second place. And so that nationally qualified me. That was actually Battle of the Eagle too,
There you go.
in Oregon. So I got second place. So I was nationally qualified my very, very first show. I did multiple shows after that and multiple seasons. I didn't even go to my first national show until 2019, and I was still not ready. And I was the last call outs that first national show.
Yeah.
And that was in 2019, and I didn't feel ready or prepared or actually national ready until 2020. 2 coaches later, so it's my 3rd coach, and that's from 2017 to 2020. And then I didn't even get my pro card until 2021. So it's like it is a
journey.
process for a lot of people. Now there are people who go quickly
Yeah.
and elevate through the ranks quickly.
Yeah.
But I will say it's great to take your time. Enjoy the process. There's a lot of the people I've heard who have rose through the ranks very quickly, who almost like wish they had more time in the NPC. Or they also show up on the pro stage and you can tell they don't have the stage experience. You do build so much experience and confidence by going
Competing
through the
all-
process
yep.
and competing all the time. There's a lot that goes into it. Like you even
I
talked
finally
about your
feel
look.
this season. I like that last show, Junior USA's. I finally just felt I didn't feel nervous at all. I was like, oh, we're lining up. Like, oh, we're pumping. Oh, we're glazing.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Yeah.
I was just so
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
just
ready
and
to
then like
go.
I'm standing there on the stairs to go up, and normally I like kind of like just feel a little anxious, and I was just
Yeah.
like, no, hurry up, lady, I gotta go do my thing. Like this shit, I was like, hurry up. Like I'm standing there, like I was just ready. Like I was just
That's
ready
so
to do
funny.
it, and I just felt calm.
Yeah.
And I was just, yeah, I'm watching back on some of my videos and stuff, and I was like, minus some of like technique things I want to fix, but like
Yeah.
I felt like I was pretty like calm up there ish. Like I don't know. Yeah.
And
So-
after Legends, you even talked about when you were giving your like update about it, you were
Yeah.
like, I finally have a look I like.
Yeah.
And it's been years of you competing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, I finally like look ready. I finally feel like I truly look like a
Pol-
national
like,
ready. I'm
polished.
ready.
Yeah.
And so I think that like contributes a lot to
It's
like,
time competing at being
Yeah.
on stage,
Yeah.
going through the process, show weekends, and just having to get up there and
Finding
put
it.
it all together. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
and just, like it's good to set timelines with some goals, but like, that's
You
why I
can't
like,
guarantee anything.
yes, that's why I say like some of my big umbrella goals, I like don't have like a specific date or a timeline because it's like it might just take longer than you think. Even like little things like right now cutting, like it just takes so long. I even hear people who are maybe like outside of the competing world who are like just trying to lose some body fat and like
Yeah.
and just cut, and they're like, I don't understand. I've been doing this for 2 months and I haven't lost. And I'm like, what? I'm 16 weeks in,
Yeah.
0 refeeds, 0 restaurant meals, 0 cheats. I'm not even close to my goal yet either. So it's like there's just so much. There's just expectation of timeline. It takes longer than you think. Growing muscle, growing your glutes may take longer than you think.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
But enjoy the process and enjoy where you're at.
Yeah, and you set different goals along the way. You've learned who you are throughout this. You've learned what your passion is through this while you're still achieving that goal. It just takes time for each little goal. I don't know. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I mean, at the national level, once you've done a national show and see where you land, you have to see where you land.
Yes.
Is it second cause? Is it last? Is it first?
Yeah.
You know, and then did you win your show? Like,
Yeah.
but see where you land, and then you have to just, it's again show by show. You have to then make a plan from there.
Yeah.
Compare who won the show, why, get your feedback. You know, is it conditioning? Is it posing? Is it muscle development? Usually, if it's posing and conditioning, you can make those tweaks usually within a prep, and you can try another show if you've got the muscle density, maybe. But you can do that within a prep typically if your heart and mind and body is in it. If you can keep pushing and keep going. If it's
muscle
development, can't really.
size.
Very few people can grow muscle in a prep. It can happen. There's girls that come back, but very few can, especially newer into the industry, and so you might need some time off, and that could look like 3 months, 6 months, a year, more. And so you need to make that plan with your coach, and then take that time off, whatever the feedback is, work on it, and then you have to try again at the national show, but you or national level, but you may have to try again a lot, and then the goal becomes like getting into that first call out, because that's a big deal to get into first call at a national show.
That means
Yes.
you're comparable.
That means you're
they're looking at
competitive.
you.
You're
And
in the
repeatedly.
mix.
Yeah,
And
repeatedly.
repeatedly. Are you repeatedly in
Yeah.
that first call
That's
out?
why that first time that you do a national show and you don't get first call outs, realize that most of those girls probably were in first call outs the year before or the show before.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yep.
they've been, this is their like, I don't
They're
know.
coming back and trying again.
Exactly. And they're just changing something,
worked their way
tweaking
there.
something
Yes.
to get just one spot higher, one
keep
spot
nudging.
higher. Right. And so
Because that's what you do at that level. It's making these little tweaks. Like, you may go make your posing change. You may come in 5 pounds leaner. You may, whatever it is. and still not win
Yeah.
because now what's the feedback from there? Like, for example, I had to get more conditioned, got more conditioned for Junior USA's. Now that we've got more conditioned and we can see the glutes, we now know, oh, we need more glute. And
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, well, now I got to go get more glute. So that so stuff like that can happen. You may make your posing changes. Okay, posing looks good on stage, but we now need you to develop more shoulder or smaller waist, whatever it is, compared to who you're standing next to. So yeah, set those smaller goals, be realistic about it. It's a sport of who you're standing next to that day.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you can't control that.
Yeah.
And so you just got to keep, trying if your heart is in it and you want to keep trying, keep going. And then you have to decide, like, how much time do you want to put into this goal? Like, how much money do you want to put into this goal?
Then do a personal check-in.
Personal check-in.
'cause
Maybe
again,
a few of them. But you got to do
Yeah.
personal check-ins because there probably will be a point where it's like, is it worth it?
Yeah,
to
and
keep
everyone's
chasing
boundaries are different.
and that's
right?
okay.
And that's fine. Yeah, you have different boundaries, different life goals, different
Yeah.
life seasons.
And if
Yep.
it's not serving you anymore, if it's something that's not making you happy anymore, it's okay to change your goals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like if it's something that's like because like competing is very consuming, and so it's okay to pause or it's okay to be like, I want to focus on building my family or I want to focus on my career.
Yeah.
That's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed as a bodybuilder. It means that you shifted.
Yeah.
It means that you evolved.
Yeah.
But like if you're also like being like, I have more to go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Then do that.
Then set those goals and do it and follow your dreams and follow your excitement and your fire and your passion for this. So it's just like, that personal check-in is really just truly like, okay, what is going to make me happy? What's going to be most fulfilling for me? Is continuing to compete going to fulfill me? Yes, no. Like make your decisions and goals off of that because it's like, it shows when someone isn't happy or if they're truly enjoying
If
it.
they're forcing it.
Yeah,
Don't
it
force
makes
it.
makes a difference because it's like if you can clearly see like people have noticed how happy you are through your prep, like it's easier to even be like, this is cool, I can keep going. Your reverse is going better because you're not upset, you're not suffering, you're not.
I wasn't miserable
Yeah.
throughout my prep and then taking it out on my reverse. Yeah.
You're happy, and so it's just like it just continues on.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really cool to be able to acknowledge that and then go from there.
So if you win your pro card and now you're a pro.
Then you're a brand new
And you're-
small little
you're-
baby
you're
fish
a little
in an even bigger pond.
Well, some people actually stop at that point. That's their goal.
True. That's
True.
their
A lot
goal.
of
That
people
is
actually
true.
stop at that
Yes.
point.
I forget about
Right?
that.
And they're just like, because the three of us are just very like, oh, we want to compete as a
Yes.
pro. Right?
Oh yeah. I
We're
want
like,
to
let's
use
go.
Yeah, but there's a
I am
lot,
in the
I would
belief you
say,
should have to use that pro card at least once.
Yeah,
At least once.
I do too. Yeah, or you get it.
I feel like
taken
if you earn your pro card, yes. I feel like
get it
within
taken
like
away.
12 months, within 2 years
they
or
would have
something,
to like pry it from my dying hands.
like, well,
no
you just can't
way.
you just can't register for it. I
Right.
feel like if you don't use it
Something
once,
like that, yeah, it's a bit.
So that's our strong opinion that no one asked for.
Whoops.
I know.
I'm not even a pro over here, and I'm
Unsolicited.
just like,
It's fine. No, I agree.
Well, it's something
I
that, like,
100% agree.
So many people strive for and strive for and
Yeah.
strive for it. So it almost feels like for the people striving for it, it's like almost like a disservice. Like,
Yeah, you just
so did
threw
you
it
not
away.
care
You
about
gotta
that?
use it.
'Cause
I wanna
want
use it.
that.
Give it to
right,
me.
give it, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
so funny.
but again, acknowledging when it's okay, like maybe that person achieved it and then their goal
a
was
life
to
thing
be
happened.
family
or like,
focused.
yes.
They just shifted their goal. So
That's
that's
Yes,
true.
please
I
don't
can
turn us
accept
off.
that.
We
Yeah.
accept you. It's fine.
but so once you're a pro, it's
How
and,
do you
like,
set goals?
yeah, and like
What
my
are your
coach was actually when I switched coaches and we did a consultation call, was very honest with me. He's like, you're gonna have to climb. Because it's like that's kind of how, and I was like very accepting of that. Like, that didn't throw me off at all.
Yeah, you did.
Because that's how my whole journey has been.
Yeah.
Like I have not
You're
been,
like, I'm used to this. Bring it on.
Yeah, yeah.
I've not been an instant winner, but I have always achieved
Yeah.
more than I ever thought possible.
Mhm.
So it's like, why can't I achieve more than I ever thought possible again?
No. Yeah.
at this
Yeah,
level,
I can. But is it going to take a long time? Is it going to take a lot of hard work? Is
Yeah.
it going to be like some road bumps in the way? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've been doing this.
Let's do it. So it's like, I mean, for some, that's like a harder mindset, but like, it's just, it's taken a long time to get there because we are competitors and we
Yeah,
all want to
yeah.
win, do well, achieve, grow. I don't know. But like, I'm like, okay, you're going to have to climb. I'm like, yeah, okay. And recently, Maria Acosta won two back-to-back pro shows now.
Yes.
But before that, she had been going and going and going, and she hadn't won a pro show, and now she has. So it's like things like
It just
that.
happens
Like,
just like that.
yeah, and now
After
she's a
climbing,
top
Yeah.
Olympian. Now she's going to be an Olympian. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, it's exciting things like that motivate and inspire
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
She climbed her way up there and did it. So that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, it's cool to see that. Like, it just it can take
Takes
time. And,
yeah.
you know, and I'll evaluate as I go how long it's taking
Yeah.
and how if my goals are still serving me. But
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that's why, like I say, my timeline is loose because it's just like I'm going to keep working to see when it's my time.
Yeah. I think my
Um,
biggest advice after winning your pro card is just do a pro show. If you're going
I
to
did-
compete as
yeah.
a pro, just do a pro show. You don't have to get ready. You don't have to like change a whole bunch of
It
things.
doesn't have to be this big thing. Like,
Yeah,
just-
because
Yeah.
like I don't think unless it's very obvious and your coach tells you, you know, you have to grow and it's just super
Okay.
obvious.
Mhm.
But I think most times it's not. And so like for me, I really pushed myself after Universe. I wasn't all in on that prep. I was like, oh gosh, no. But I really pushed myself and I was like, no, I do. My why pushed myself more than me wanting to be in prep, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
my big why was that I did not want to go into an improvement season not knowing what my goals were to be able to be competitive as a pro. And the
Yeah.
only way I could know that is by standing right beside
Oh,
pros.
yeah.
And so I pushed myself to do Hawaii. And then, you know, I got my feedback. I think it was to not work out upper body and work on my upper glutes, I think, something like that, and conditioning maybe. But anyway, it at least gave me goals then when I hopped into my improvement season on what I had to do to stay or be more competitive. So I think doing a pro show and not, you know, like comparing yourself, like your national pictures next to pro pictures is not necessarily the most helpful. But I know that that's what Sandy told me getting off stage was to just go to a pro show.
Yeah, and I did that. I did 4
Yeah.
weeks later. I went to Legion after I turned pro, and for me, it was like such I think the experience is what did it for me more than even just like seeing myself next to other pros. It was like the backstage. It was feeling like I belonged. It was like
Right.
stepping on there, knowing that like I still had fire to get to that, to be
Yeah.
feel really like in that level. And that's because like I looked at my pictures from like those 4 weeks, like I looked the same. Like I didn't
Yeah.
change that much. I didn't improve that much or anything. So it was like I still looked like an amateur on the pro stage is how I felt my feedback looked. But like, I mean, and I took my longest off season after that, but it's because I knew I needed to grow. I knew
Right.
I needed to be on the level, but like stepping on that stage gave me this like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Yes.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be
You're
on
like, I
this
want to
pro
come back and
stage.
do this for real, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's funny.
And so I think like, so I think like I agree with
Yeah.
your recommendation to do that because personally it helped me like really know I want to do this. And I feel like that was the same with like my first national stage experience too. Like I went and I got that last call out, but like when I got there and I saw how good all the girls were around me, I was like, I gotta do
Okay, I'm gonna
this.
tell you a story. This
I
is
gotta do
me.
this.
This is me and my glutes right now. Okay, so I really
Love you.
struggle with. I really struggle with. I can push weight. I can move weight. Like
Yeah.
I'm in weightlifting. Like I'm strong.
Yeah.
But obviously my glutes don't look like that what I can lift. So I have to really train myself how to lift differently, how to lift with intention, and so I have to go lighter weight and really work on pauses and the eccentric. The stretch.
Yeah.
I always got it right. Yes.
Yes.
And like holds and like things like that. And it's like they hurt more, right? They burn
yeah.
more. And like I don't have the patience for it. So this is now what whenever I'm lifting, like this last week I did it. Like weight is lowered, pausing, I'm holding, I'm going slow. I'm going through the stupid burn and I'm being patient. And literally I had to tell myself the other day doing hip thrusts because I was doing like pauses and I was like holding at the top and it was 18 freaking reps with like 3-second pauses each one. And I am like, you need density. You need density. Like you didn't win your pro card. You just
This
you
is the
need
path.
this is the path. This
Right?
is how we get to that goal.
Yes.
And so that's literally what I have to tell myself is like just this like
Little thing.
I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
but yeah, we
Yeah.
need density to the glutes.
I have
so
one
we're
with
gonna
that one too with hip thrusts. I get very, very dizzy from
The
I don't
back
know,
end-
from
is
that,
it like
yeah,
this?
that rocking thing? I don't know what it is. I hate it so much, which is why I
Being
like
laying
the,
down.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's like where I look too, because I found that if I look more straight ahead, I don't feel as much vertigo and like dizziness
Oh.
from it. I don't know. It's so strange. But I'm trying to get my strength up in terms of my.
I'll give you some strength.
the
You give me
weight-
some
yeah,
glue.
exactly.
Okay,
I've-
can we trade?
because
some
I
trades.
literally train that way.
I'll take some delts,
I've,
too.
Yeah, I've done a lot more like holding, or a lot more like half reps. Like I'll do the full
quarter
thing.
reps and like
Yeah, I do like 10 of the full, and then 5 of the
Yep.
half the top, and then the holding.
pulses.
And so,
like
and so I don't lift that much weight. And so I found that that's one thing that I want to try and push, so that I can get in your like 400 club over there.
it's
I think we could even do a whole episode on like training
How we
styles and how
train-
they've evolved over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah,
I think that's a
yeah,
great.
just mixing the two.
Look at
of
us
them would work for
brainstorming.
yeah, look at us go.
But no, yeah, if you have any short-term or long-term goals that you want to share with us, maybe even just because I would be happy to even help like break down some of maybe the long-term goals. If you DM'd me like where you're at and what you're trying to get to, I would be happy to help with that. And I think Lauren and
Yeah,
Kaylia as
same.
well. So
yeah.
just reaching out and letting us know if there's anything that you heard on this episode that would be relatable or that you need help with. We'd love to help.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know, and I'm excited. I always get so excited hearing other people's
Right?
goals.
Yeah, tell me how many people start doing their goals on their birthday.
Yes.
But no, that is episode 14.
We're down 14. Don't forget to hit up Lo for any posing, coaching.
Yes.
Brand new.
Yes,
We'll be
yes.
dropping some emails and pictures on this.
Yes,
Some
there we
links.
go.
Some links.
Yeah, we'll put some links down there for you.
All the things.
And just really fast while we're wrapping this up, I do want to say I really appreciate how many people stopped by and saw me at the UXO booth at Idaho Muscle Classic this weekend and told me that they listened to our podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, congratulations to everyone who
Yes.
competed at the Idaho Muscle Classic.
Yes,
Yes.
big congrats to everyone. We love supporting our local bodybuilding
Yes.
community. And so,
You guys made us proud.
yes. And thank you for supporting us on here.
Mhm.
So back and forth, vice versa. Like, we love you, you love us. And so just everyone who just wrapped up that show, think about your goals for what's next, and let us know.
Yeah. If you need help figuring them out, we're here.
We're here.
Hopefully a Bikini Besties podcast booth at a show one time.
Ooh,
Oh,
I like that.
maybe
I like that
someday,
idea.
maybe
That would be
someday.
kind of cool.
I
We
like
can.
that idea. That'd be cool.
I actually have an idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about that offline.
Love it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.